One of the most controversial topics in Boruto right now is Kawaki. He's been getting a lot of hate lately because of his wish in chapter 79, but there's been a huge misunderstanding that I want to address, and I also want to explain both Boruto and Kawaki's thought processes and where they might be right or wrong. Now, a lot of people are saying Kawaki is selfish and jealous of Boruto and that they hate Kawaki now, but honestly, I don't think your opinion of Kawaki should have changed much after chapter 79. You either should have kept agreeing with him or never agreed with him in the first place, because nothing he says or does really changes. All Kawaki did was explain why this situation sucks, and everything he said was stuff we already knew to begin with. Kawaki doesn't actually want to kill Boruto in particular. He wants to kill Momoshiki, who just so happens to be living inside of Boruto, and the only way to kill Momoshiki that Kawaki knows of is to kill Boruto. And even then, Kawaki seems fully on board with the idea of sending Boruto to Daikokuten like he did Naruto instead of killing Boruto. The only problem is that Boruto and Momoshiki can just absorb the space-time portal with karma to prevent that from happening, like Boruto did in chapter 78. So since Boruto's not on board with that either, the only real option Kawaki has left is to kill Boruto, since he prioritizes Naruto and the Leaf Village's safety over his brother Boruto, the exact reverse of Itachi. Itachi's priorities were his brother Sasuke, then the Leaf Village, and then his parents and clan, whereas Kawaki's priorities are his father Naruto, then the Leaf Village that Naruto protects, and then his brother Boruto. Now, the misunderstanding from this chapter is the belief that Kawaki wished he had Boruto's life and wanted to be Naruto's real son, and have all of Boruto's friends and stuff, and that he wanted everyone to hate Boruto. But that's not really what Kawaki was getting at during his rant to Eida in chapter 79. Kawaki says, if we don't take Momoshiki out now, Lord 7th and this village he's cherished and protected will both eventually be destroyed. Because once he breaks free, it'll be too late. Irreversible and beyond repair. But unfortunately, he's Lord 7th's son. Who in Konoha could kill him? The Hokage's son. An act that would turn all your friends into foes. Who would ever agree to take on such a task? Then he has some flashbacks of Boruto saying Kawaki's important to him and calling him bro, and then he says, damn it, why did it have to be him? Why couldn't it have been a complete nobody, who wasn't the Hokage's son or my brother? A stranger who no one would mourn if they died. An outsider just like me. At no point does Kawaki talk about how he wishes he was in Boruto's position, or that Boruto was an outsider who everyone hated. He purely asks, why did it have to be him? Why did it have to be the Hokage's son and Kawaki's brother? He's saying rather than Momoshiki's karma being on Boruto, who is the son of the Hokage, Kawaki's brother, and close friends with a lot of people in the village, including all of Kawaki's friends, why couldn't it have been on a complete nobody that nobody cared about instead? Then Kawaki wouldn't have to kill his own brother and wouldn't have to deal with the entire Leaf Village getting in his way and hating Kawaki for his actions. Although, of course, that's not fully true, because even if it was a little bit of an outsider like Kawaki himself, the Leaf Village still would have been mad about it, but Kawaki doesn't realize that. Kawaki's flashback of Boruto saying Kawaki is important to him and calling him bro and then asking, why did it have to be him, makes it pretty obvious that Kawaki doesn't actually want Boruto to die and instead wishes someone else had Momoshiki's karma seal. But then Eida grabbed Kawaki's face while he was grabbing her and she unconsciously activated omnipotence. And as a small side note, this scene indicates another aspect of Eida's omnipotence that wasn't explained by Amato to the others, which is that Eida might be able to transfer her omnipotence to another person whenever she is touching them or they are touching her. Just like how Daemon's ability transfers to someone if they are touching him. As we saw in chapter 79, Kawaki grabbed Eida and explained his feelings and desires to her, and then she subsequently grabbed Kawaki's face, and when this happened, she activated omnipotence and manifested Kawaki's desires rather than her own desires, which are always manifested as her love charm. So just like when Ko touched Daemon and shared Daemon's reflection ability versus Kawaki in chapter 67, Kawaki touched Eida and shared Eida's omnipotence ability in chapter 79, where Kawaki's desire to change the circumstances he was in invoked Eida's omnipotence and resulted in everyone's memories being changed, so that Kawaki and Boruto's positions in life were reversed. Between her Senrigan clairvoyance, love charm, and changing people's positions in life using omnipotence, which is the will to make anything real according to Momoshiki, Eida is basically a walking VPN from private internet access who happens to be the sponsor of today's video. Now for those of you who don't know, a VPN is a virtual private network, and if you find yourself frequently using public Wi-Fi, you're at risk of Orochimaru hacking into your data and finding out where you live so he can abduct you for human experiments, and you don't want that. So that's why PIA hides your IP address and encrypts your internet connection. It prevents hackers from accessing your data, similar to Eida's love charm. Just as you simply can't attack Eida no matter how badly you want to, like Code tried to in Chapter 57, you simply can't access somebody's data if they have a VPN. In addition, streaming services like Netflix have different libraries based on your location, so if you ever want to watch an anime, TV show, or movie, and it's not available where you are like Jujutsu Kaisen in the United States, all you have to do is change your location to a place where it is available, where switching to Japan lets me watch Jujutsu Kaisen on Netflix here in the United States. And this trick also works whenever an anime or manga is blocked on a website in your country, or if there's an online deal that's better in one country versus another. And yes, all of this is legal and allowed in PIA's terms and conditions. It's a hack's ability like Eida's Senrigan. She can just poof her consciousness anywhere in the world when she wants to watch an event in the past or present, and PIA basically lets you do the same thing on streaming services and the internet. You can also use PIA on as many devices as you want anywhere in the world. It works with all major streaming services and person-to-person file sharing. It's available for all platforms, and best of all, when you use my link in the description and pinned comment, you get 83% off. It's literally $2.03 a month.
$2!
It's cheap enough to make even Mr. Krabs happy.
Hello, I like money.
And you also get an extra 4 months completely free too. And if that weren't enough, it's literally risk-free with a money-back guarantee. So if you really couldn't swing that $2.03,
$2!
you can get your money back like it never happened. So click the link in the description and pinned comment to try out PIA VPN and help support the channel the same way that Eida is supporting Kawaki as we speak. And on that note, Kawaki didn't even ask for Eida's help, nor did he even know that Eida had this omnipotence power that could change everyone's memory so that they would hate Boruto. Even Eida didn't know she could do this, and she didn't even consciously do it on purpose. It just happened. It wasn't something Kawaki planned. The truth is, Kawaki cares very little for his own well-being and he's very self-deprecating. All he's concerned with is Naruto's safety and by extension the Leaf Village that Naruto cares about and tries to protect. Kawaki is perfectly okay with throwing his life away or leaving the village or becoming the villain of the village in order to achieve his goals of eliminating all otsutsuki and protecting Naruto. When Eida came to help Kawaki in Chapter 79, Kawaki literally said to stop worrying about him and instead focus on protecting Naruto, even after Kawaki sent Naruto to Daikokuten to keep Naruto from harm. That's how much Kawaki prioritizes Naruto over himself. He doesn't even think logically and realize that Eida can't even do anything for Naruto right now. Not only that, Kawaki openly says that he doesn't expect or even want Shikamaru and the others to understand him, and that talking about it is pointless. He was perfectly fine with everyone in the village hating him for sending Naruto away and trying to kill Boruto, because he felt this is what needed to be done for Naruto and the Leaf Village's sake by extension. Does that sound like somebody who wants everyone to be his friend and be on his side like everyone was for Boruto?
Not at all.
That's somebody who doesn't care what everyone else thinks of him. He just wants to do what he feels he needs to. So hopefully this clears up that misconception about Kawaki's desires a bit. So now let's address who's right or wrong here. Should Boruto be killed right now, or should he be given more time before making that decision? Let's look at things from both perspectives. Kawaki's rant to Eida in Chapter 79 and his talk with Naruto in Chapter 77 make it pretty clear what Kawaki's thought process is. Once he saw that Momoshiki was a threat to Naruto's life in Chapter 65, and had previously saw him stab Sasuke's Ayo in Chapter 54, Kawaki just doesn't trust Momoshiki whatsoever. He knows he's powerful and also devious and will attack you randomly when your guard is down. That's why Kawaki told Sarada to shut up in Chapter 77 and said that Otsutsuki don't care whether we're in the middle of something or not. Momoshiki will pull his shenanigans and attack you whenever he feels like it, and if he hypothetically caught Sasuke, Mitsuki, Eida, Daemon, Kawaki himself, Naruto, or any other heavy hitters in the Leaf Village off guard and killed them, that could spell trouble for everyone else who stands absolutely no chance against him. That's why Kawaki is hell-bent on just getting rid of Momoshiki now, before he even takes over Boruto again. He doesn't want it to be too late to save the Leaf Village that Naruto cherishes. Furthermore, Kawaki has been under the impression that Momoshiki is up to something for a few chapters, and he's right. Momoshiki has been plotting to take over Boruto's body when Boruto loses everything and falls into despair, and was even helping Kawaki out in chapter 78 to ensure that this happened. Although things have gone kinda wonky with Momoshiki's prophecy in chapter 80, but that's besides the point. Momoshiki was still up to something like Kawaki thought. Kawaki had also promised Boruto that he would stop him if Momoshiki took over Boruto's body, and they agreed to have Kawaki kill Boruto if it came down to it. And Kawaki is really just trying to finish what he started. He's just fulfilling the promise he originally made. So now what's Boruto's perspective on this? Well, first off, he obviously doesn't want to die if he doesn't have to, where he currently doesn't think he needs to die anymore. So now the question is, why doesn't Boruto think he needs to die anymore? There's three main reasons. The first two are more explicit and the third is more implicit. The first reason is because Momoshiki can no longer finish extracting his data onto Boruto because he sacrificed the last 18% of his DNA in order to prevent Boruto from dying in chapter 67. As a result, Momoshiki will never reach 100% karma extraction and be able to resurrect in Boruto's body. Had this not been the case, Boruto would eventually be screwed. Even with Amado's pills slowing down the karma extraction process, it was only a stopgap measure that doesn't actually solve the problem like Amado and Momoshiki both explained. Momoshiki's data would still eventually finish extracting, and when that happened, he'd be able to resurrect in Boruto's body and there's nothing Boruto could do about it. It doesn't matter how much control Boruto had over Momoshiki's power. He'd still be screwed and be taken over by Momoshiki eventually. However, since that's no longer the case, it boils down to whether Boruto can control Momoshiki's presence or not, which ties into the second reason Boruto doesn't think he needs to die anymore, which is because Boruto feels that he can channel Momoshiki's power better, as he mentioned in chapter 68, which is why he decided he didn't need Amado's pills anymore. And because of this, Boruto seems to feel like he can suppress Momoshiki better than he could before, meaning he doesn't expect Momoshiki to randomly take over his body and attack people. And since he doesn't think Momoshiki can just take over his body whenever he wants to, he doesn't really see the need for him to die anymore. Now, the more implicit reason is because Boruto was no longer in that specific situation where Momoshiki was actively trying to attack people. He's kinda just forgetting the dangerous reality of his situation. When he saw Momoshiki try to kill Naruto after having previously stabbed out Sasuke's eye, it hit Boruto really hard that he was so close to having killed his own dad. And so in the heat of the moment, he decided he should just die so Momoshiki would die too. Now that Momoshiki hasn't tried to attack anyone for a little while, Boruto's kinda just forgetting the whole reason he's a threat to begin with. Kawaki isn't trying to kill Boruto because Momoshiki is trying to kill everyone at all times. He's trying to kill Boruto because Momoshiki could attack anyone at any random time. Kawaki doesn't know when Momoshiki will try to take over Boruto. He just knows Momoshiki will try to take over Boruto at some point when everyone least expects it, because he's a cunning, devious otsutsuki who wants to devour the planet and grow a chakra fruit. However, this is likely an underlying reason why Boruto doesn't think he needs to die anymore, and Naruto experienced a similar thing with Kurama. Naruto almost killed Jiraiya in Four Tails mode, but then at the beginning of Shippuden he willingly tries to use Kurama's power again and again whenever he gets angry, and eventually he hurt Sakura when he went into Four Tails mode again to fight Orochimaru. Then he decides not to use Kurama's power anymore because he hurt Sakura, but then in the Pain arc he gets pissed off when he thought Pain killed Hinata and goes straight into Five Tails mode and was about to unleash Kurama completely before Minato stopped him. Naruto knew he could hurt people when using Kurama's power, but he still eventually gave in to Kurama again when he got super angry and lost hope in himself. And even in the Boruto anime, Naruto does the exact same thing during the time travel arc with Oroshiki. He found out he hurt Boruto when he was in One Tails mode and felt really guilty about it, but then he went back into One Tails mode when he got angry versus Oroshiki later on. It can be easy to forget the danger you pose to others when you haven't hurt them in a while or are not actively hurting them in that moment. But that's exactly what Kawaki is so worried about and why he's so fixated on killing Boruto now before it's too late. I think that's a pretty good explanation of both perspectives, so now let me explain why each of them are a little bit in the wrong and how the situation could easily be resolved. I've already kind of started explaining where Boruto is at fault, so I'll just keep explaining where Boruto is wrong. As I just explained, Boruto is partly just forgetting the reality of his situation. The problem isn't so much about Momoshiki constantly attacking people 24/7, it's more so the fact that Momoshiki could randomly attack anyone at any time when people least expect it. He's a ticking time bomb, but nobody knows when he's going to blow up. In addition, Boruto is really making a bold and baseless assumption that he can control Momoshiki's power better now. Why does he even think that?
Why?
What has actually changed that makes Boruto safe and not a threat now, whereas he was a threat that needed to die before?
I don't know. I don't know why. There are many things I don't know.
Our only guesses are because he tapped into more of Momoshiki's power versus Code, and he thinks he can do that again now at will, or because he's now 100% Otsutsuki, so for whatever reason, that means he can control Momoshiki's power better now. Even if those are true, Boruto just randomly jumped to that conclusion without any evidence to support it. That is such a bold and risky assumption to make, and honestly, it seems like he's completely wrong based on what we see in chapter 78, as he only went into his Karma 1 form while Kawaki was trying to kill him and had the upper hand on Boruto, instead of going into his Karma 2 True Essence form with the Byakugan like he did against Code, where he could have quickly beaten up Karma 1 Kawaki before he went into his Kawashiki form with the horn. At the very least, it would have given him a better fighting chance to stop Kawaki before it was too late. But nah, he didn't do that. He just let Kawaki have the upper hand on him. Maybe he just chose not to, but it certainly doesn't give off the impression that he can channel Momoshiki's power better now, considering that he didn't even use more of it than he ever used to use before. Furthermore, Momoshiki literally took over Boruto's body randomly to let Kawaki escape so that he and Eida could use omnipotence together and make the village turn on Boruto. Momoshiki literally proved Kawaki's point. If he had chosen to, Momoshiki could have just killed Sasuke off guard when he was focused on Kawaki and then escaped. He just chose not to because he wanted to let Boruto's prophecy come to fruition in the hopes that Boruto would despair and let Momoshiki take over permanently. So we saw Boruto not use any more of Momoshiki's power than he was able to previously, and actually use less of it than he did versus Code, and then we saw Momoshiki take over Boruto's body randomly while he was still conscious and had plenty of chakra. Even if you want to say Momoshiki could only do that because Boruto's eye just got slashed, Boruto could get injured in literally any fight he gets into. So if being injured gives Momoshiki an opportunity to take over, then he is still a huge liability and risks the village like Kawaki says. Let's say Code invades the village and injures Boruto since Code is way stronger than him and has a Tento's army by his side too. Now the village is at risk of Code and Momoshiki teaming up again, further increasing the danger posed towards the Leaf Village. In addition, it was heavily implied that the reason why Boruto was able to tap into more of Momoshiki's power and access that True Essence form with the Byakugan versus Code was because of Amato's pills that suppressed the Byakugan and the otsutsukification process in Boruto's body. So even if Boruto actually can channel Momoshiki's power a bit better than he could before, he might just even out to where he was because he's no longer taking Amato's pills, which helped to suppress Momoshiki, where Momoshiki was still able to take over Boruto anyway. Maybe Boruto meant that he thinks he can channel more of Momoshiki's power on his own now than he could even with Amato's pills before, but he certainly hasn't displayed any evidence of that and instead has shown evidence to the contrary, so I don't really believe Boruto yet until he shows me he can channel more of Momoshiki's power than he could before. He might have been better off if he was still taking Amato's pills, but he's not. So as far as we've seen, Boruto is just as much a threat to everyone as he was before. So if Momoshiki had to resolve to die to stop Momoshiki before, why has he changed his mind all of a sudden? He really should have the same opinion after watching Momoshiki take over in chapter 78. But that's why I think that implicit reason of Momoshiki not attacking anyone for a minute is playing a role. Boruto is just not gonna think he's a threat until he attacks someone again. That's just how he is. So I've shat on Boruto for a minute, so now let's rip Kawaki apart for a bit. First of all, whether killing Boruto is for the best of the Leaf Village or not, trying to kill Sarada for getting in Kawaki's way is just uncalled for. There's absolutely no reason to kill Sarada. He could have just knocked her out or kicked her really far away or something. He didn't have to go for the kill. Not only that, but Kawaki's willingness to kill Sarada and anyone else who gets in his way directly goes against the whole point of protecting the village that Naruto cherishes and protects. The entire village disagrees with Kawaki's actions and is opposing him, meaning Kawaki might kill anyone in the village under the condition that they get in his way of killing Boruto. What difference does it make whether Momoshiki or Kawaki is the one who destroys the village and kills the people in it? It's the same end result. In his pursuit of killing Boruto to prevent Momoshiki from destroying the village and killing innocent people, Kawaki is literally trying to kill innocent people. This just doesn't align with Kawaki's philosophy of protecting the village Naruto cherishes and protects. He's literally part of the problem right now without even realizing it. It's not just Boruto, it's Kawaki too. They're both bomb brats, as Shikamaru put it. So while Kawaki may have a point about killing Boruto before it's too late, and Boruto might be being ignorant about a situation, Kawaki going for the kill against other Leaf Ninja when he doesn't need to is completely unjustified. If he just tried to knock them out or send them flying like Boruto did to Naruto in chapter 66, that would be a different story. But Kawaki is just going straight for the kill. Without even realizing it, he's doing exactly what he's worried Momoshiki will do. Of course, if everyone just let Kawaki do what he wants, then this wouldn't be an issue, which is where Eida's omnipotence would have been a big help if not for Sarada's testimony and Sasuke deciding to believe in Boruto and Sarada, which will likely start to bring more and more people to Boruto's side rather than Kawaki's, especially if Eida opposes Kawaki and helps Boruto out too. She could either possibly reverse what she's done, or just tell everyone the truth and use her love charm to help convince everyone to support Boruto. So there's a good chance people still oppose Kawaki, meaning he'll still have to fight whoever gets in his way, which we established to be pretty unjustified given that Kawaki will go for the kill against his own comrades. Furthermore, without knowing it, Kawaki's actions literally put Boruto at risk of despairing and giving in to Momoshiki, and his actions might indirectly cause this to happen temporarily in the future for all we know, meaning he could have made the problem even worse than he thought it already was. And lastly, Kawaki doesn't know about this, but Boruto also has a prophecy from Toneri to be the star of hope that saves the world against the calamity that shall come to pass in the future. So Boruto dying now would probably cause the world to end later on anyway, which would also be a big problem. So of course there's always the option of Boruto just killing himself or publicly expressing that he wants to die to kill Momoshiki and that he is asking Kawaki to do it like he did last time. But even then the Leaf villagers will probably protest and try to stop them like Naruto tried to the first time. However, if Boruto kills himself, they can't really hate Kawaki for it. That's not likely to happen though, since Boruto is trying not to die this time around, and like I said, Boruto dying now would probably cause the world to end later on based on Toneri's prophecy. I think we've ripped apart both sides sufficiently here, so what's the right answer? The stinking room sharing mission that Shikamaru gave Team 7! It was literally the perfect solution. That's why he devised it the way he did. Shikamaru already explained in chapter 73 that both Boruto and Kawaki were bomb brats and potential risk factors for the Leaf Village. And so were Eida and Daemon, who the Leaf Village knew very little about other than that they were crazy powerful. That's why they were placed in a remote location far away from the Leaf Village, because even if Momoshiki started acting up, Kawaki and Team 7 could stop him near that building that was far away from the village, meaning the village wasn't in any immediate danger. And frankly, Kawaki could stop Momoshiki by himself if need be, especially if Boruto tries to suppress Momoshiki like he did last time. Kawaki is the one who messed things up by storming off and causing Boruto to follow him into the village. And in regards to Eida and Daemon, Team 7 were meant to just keep close watch on them just in case. However, this plan works even better than Shikamaru realized it would, and that's because of Daemon. Daemon's literally the strongest person in the Leaf Village. He's stronger than both Boruto and Kawaki, and could probably beat both of them up at the same time, even at full power, given that he easily beat up Code, who's stronger than Jigen, and most likely stronger than Boruto and Kawaki too. As long as they stayed in that building together and continued the room sharing mission they were on, the village was literally at no risk of being destroyed. Even if they went into the village, as long as Eida and Daemon were there, they could easily stop Momoshiki from doing any damage. And considering that Eida and Daemon were open to the idea of using their power to stop Kawaki if need be, instead of Amato using his shutdown code, I don't see why they would be opposed to stopping Momoshiki if he acted up. This also maximizes their battle strength against Code, if he ever invades, because the Leaf Village would still have Boruto, Kawaki, Eida, Daemon, Mitsuki, Sarada, Sasuke, Naruto, and everyone else, since there wouldn't be any infighting among them. So if Kawaki literally just went along with Shikamaru's room-sharing mission, there wouldn't have been anything to worry about with Momoshiki. That's the honest truth of the matter here. So I would say Kawaki is the one who is mostly in the wrong in the grand scheme of things, and Boruto's side is more right, even if not for the reasons he had in mind. But I want to hear what you guys think. Did this video help clear up any misconceptions you had about Kawaki's character and his desires, and which side do you agree more with? Do you agree with Kawaki or do you agree with Boruto? And do you agree with me that the room sharing mission was honestly the best solution to the problem like Shikamaru thought it would be? Let me know in the comment section below, but that's a wrap on today's video, so thank you guys for watching until the end.
You're already under my genjutsu.
Don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, like the video, become a member, and hit the bell icon for notifications.
Sorry, Sasuke. Maybe some other time.
Have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.